Hey, friends, welcome back to my porch. Have you ever prayed a dangerous prayer? Let me tell you what I mean. There was a man that I respected years and years and years ago, and we were just chit chatting one day, and he was talking to me about one of the most dangerous prayers he's ever prayed. And I said, "Well, what is that?" He said, "Well, I prayed, Lord, would you show me to me?" And he said, "Let me tell you something. When you pray that, you better be ready because God will show you to you. But here's the thing, you might not like what he shows you." I said, "Oh, okay." So I didn't pray that prayer at first. But then one day I said, I started praying that a lot. I said, "God, show me to me. Is there anything about me that you need to change?" And I'd met this girl in a prayer group that I just started going to, and I really was new to going to prayer groups. So I didn't even know much about that. But this girl had invited me to this church service. There was someone coming as a special speaker, and she said, "She is so good. Oh my gosh, I just love her so much. You'll love her, Linda, if you come listen to her." So she gave me the date and the time, and it was at a church that I actually knew how to get to because it was in Nashville. And I generally wouldn't go to Nashville on my own, but this church, I happened to know exactly where it was. So the day came, and it just so happened that my husband had taken the boys somewhere, and I was home alone for the whole evening. And I thought, well, gosh, it's 30 minutes from that church service, and it'll take me about 30 minutes to get there. So I thought, what prevents me from getting in my car and going? So I go to this church service, and I'm ready to hear, just the best message of my life. And the woman gets up there and she's introduced, and she says to everyone, "Oh, I had just a good message just ready. I was fully prepared with a message. But, as I was seeking the Lord this morning, he just kept bringing how Jesus washed the disciples' feet. So I started reading those passages, and she read that passage. And then she said, 'This is what we're going to do, though. I just decided that God just wants to do a good old fashioned foot washing.'" And I'm thinking, I'm in a church that I know nobody here except my friend that invited me. She's sitting next to me and she's not even looking at me. I'm like, okay, we're going to do a foot washing. So I'm a nurse. I don't practice anymore, but at the time I was working in hospitals. So we always had gloves between us and the people, and we always did things clean. And if something needed to be sterile, we kept it sterile. But in this particular foot washing, there was about 100 women in the building. We had about maybe 8 bins. We're going to fill them with water, she said. And we don't really have a way to be empty and exchanging the water. It'll take too long. So we're just all going to use the same water. My heart's pounding at this point because I'm thinking, I don't, I just don't know if I can do this. Now I could have gotten up and left. I didn't know anybody, but my new friend was sitting there, so I didn't want to leave. But I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm not paying attention to scripture or nothing. I get up and I'm like, okay, get up, Linda, be one of the first ones up there. The water will be cleaner, and you grab the cleanest person you can find. And that's what I did. I went up pretty quick, found this girl that was about 19, 20 years old. Figured she must have really clean feet because she had time to grow any fungus, right? So I pick her, she's willing. We do the whole foot washing thing. And while I'm just getting through the motions, other people are weeping. I mean, I have missed the whole point of being a servant and, considering myself lower than the person, I've missed the whole point. I'm just trying to get through it. So we get done and the music's playing, and still a lot of women need to go. And I'm at the altar and I'm just praising the Lord, singing the songs. So glad that I'm done with that part. And God starts talking to me, and it's like, "Yeah, Linda, you didn't quite do that the way I was anticipating." And I was like, "Lord, I praise you, Lord." And he's like, "Yeah, Linda, you're going to need to go do that again." I'm trying to ignore it, but I'm knowing in this moment, I have a choice that I can be obedient, or he's going to have me go through this test another day. And I'm wanting to pass this test. So I thought, okay, Lord, I'm going to turn around, and whoever who is in front of me that needs a partner, I'm going to take that person and help me. Like, I'm sorry, I obviously am not doing this right. So I turn around. He graces me with an older woman that looks fairly clean. Because there was a woman who was walking around that was a sweet person, but you could tell she was a little off, but she had a servant's heart and she was just helping. But she was walking around. I noticed when I got there, she had bare feet, very dirty, nails unkempt. And he said foot wash, and I'm thinking, please give me clean feet because I don't want to have to wash that. And I thought, oh, I mean, what a terrible heart, right? So he gives me this older woman. We wash each other's feet, and I'm done. And the meeting ends, and I go home. And on the way home, and I said, "Now, Lord, what was that all about?" And he said, "Well, Linda, you've been praying, show me to me. I just wanted to show you that was in there. There was a little bit of pride and arrogance in there. I'd like you to get rid of." Oh Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so I see it. I see it. I see it. And then that man's words came back to me that said, "Be careful when you pray that prayer. You might not like what you see." So ever since then, I've always kept that prayer at the forefront. Lord, show me to me if there's anything in me that is not pleasing to you. I want it to go. And if you need to humble me, because that was a humbling experience to go to that foot washing. And I've now learned that when I just show up at a meeting that I had no intention of being at, and someone closes the book and says, "God's just changed my plan," I thought, you better pay attention, Linda. This might be for you. That day was, and there's been many days since that have been like that. So, what about you? Have you ever had any embarrassing moments that God just had to show you a little something about yourself that you didn't quite know was there? Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you tomorrow, friends.